folks, it's Rick. I'm heading out to pick up some soup. It's really cold. I don't know, it was like 1 degree this morning. 1 degree. It was a degree. Luckily the wind is not blowing much. Anyway, I thought I'd talk about this because I got into sometimes I make the mistake of starting to read these groups on Facebook. You know, the Fender Guitar and Amp Society, or the Awesome Cheap Guitars group, Pedal Boards of Doom, all of that stuff. And the same conversations always come up because I think that people want attention. Who doesn't want attention, right? But I think that people are like, what can I post that 700 people will respond to? And one of the surefire bets is that people want to respond to the question, what do you think of relic guitars or road-worn guitars? Basically what they're talking about are guitars that have been aged at the factory, and they're sold. If you're watching my channel, you probably know what a relic guitar is, because you like guitars. Anyway, people say the dumbest stuff. I'm keeping this clean as I can. People say really dumb stuff about relic guitars. And I'll start by saying one of my favorite YouTube channels, which is Know Your Gear, Phil McKnight. A lot of people watch him. He's good. Sometimes he's on, sometimes he's not. He's usually smart and right about things. He knows a lot about the industry, so I kind of value his opinion. And he made a good comment about relic guitars. He said it's just a finish option. And I think people need to let that sink in. It's just a finish option. The guitar companies are not trying to rip you off. In fact, they probably put just as much time and effort into the relic guitars as they do into the non-relic guitars. Anyway, so people say things like, oh, you're just a poser. That's my favorite one. You're a poser if you're playing one of those. Well, I don't need to pose. I'm 48 years old. You know, I'm not like the youngest looking dude in the world. I'm not the most physically fit. Honestly, I don't worry about how people think I look with my guitar. It's really about how you play and how happy you are playing. Those are the important things. And you know what? What do people think about how you play? I could be playing a branch that's got strings strung on it and a little pickup and a knob. And if I sound good, what the hell do you care? Another thing that people say, I like honest wear. Honest wear. What is that? Does that mean you were a klutz over the last 15 or 20 years and you've got a bunch of dings on your guitar? That's honest. Whereas buying a relic, you're trying to sneak around. I mean, it's pretty clear. If you have a Fender guitar that looks like a 1964 Fender or a 1958 Fender, chances are that's not what it is. Chances are it's a reissue, and if it's beat up, chances are you bought it that way. So nobody's trying to pull the wool over anybody's eyes with this. It's all honest. Another point, if that's what you want to play, that's what you should play. If it makes you happy to hold that guitar in your hands, and if you think that it feels great, and if you think that it sounds great, hell, even if you think that it looks great, that you're looking cool with that, I honestly don't care. My road-worn Telly I didn't pay extra for it to be road worn. I paid for it used. I didn't do that because I'm a poser. I didn't do it because I thought I was going to trick people into thinking that I have some old 50s guitar. I did that because when I played that guitar, I was like, man, this thing feels great. And it sounds like a quintessential Telecaster. It feels great, it sounds great, and it inspires me to play better. Nobody is saying that this is the guitar you have to buy. Nobody's saying you have to like it. Look, if you don't want a scratched up guitar, that's great. Don't buy one. If you do want one, that's great. I will tell you one thing. A benefit of having a relic guitar, if you make a mark on it, you really don't care. You're not upset. I have that road-worn Teleo switching out the pickups, and of course, like the klutz that I am and the crappy solderer that I am, I dripped a little bit of solder on the finish. And I was like, I hope that doesn't make a mark. And I scraped it off, and sure enough, there was a mark right there in the finish. And then I was like, oh well, who's going to be able to tell? It's a relic guitar. A friend of mine and I, his name is Taylor Sinclair, great guy. And he passed away almost 2 years ago. He and I went to the music store, and we were looking at what they had new, blah, blah, blah. I don't know what year it was. It was between 96 and 98, I think. But they had Fender custom shop relic guitars. Not cheap. And we looked at them and we were like, that's ridiculous. We thought, that is just silly. You know, because that's your first reaction to it. Then he's like, I gotta see how these things play. I gotta see what they're like. And he played, I'll never forget it, it was a Stratocaster with these chips in it and stuff. And he was like, holy crap, this is a really awesome guitar. I'm not gonna pay thousands for one. If I get a good deal on one, I'll be pretty happy, because they're pretty nice. That's all. It's a finish option. Thank you, Phil McKnight. Hey, everybody, peace to you. Be cool. And I hope you're having a good holiday season. Later on.